This Earth of yours will be reduced to a burned-out cinder.
Real wrath of God type stuff. Biblical.
No, not yet.
Gentlemen, you can't fight in here. This is the war room.
I came here to give you these facts.
Dogs in camp, living together. Mass hysteria.
We're going to live on. Today, we celebrate.
Flabbergasted by the Audacity. When I get the flu, I can feel it in my bones.
Yeah?
And I just know.
Okay.
I remember my girlfriend wanted me to take my
Roommate?
temperature.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can feel it. I know I have a fever. I'm fine. I don't need. There's no point. He's like, but you
I don't have
know
one
for sure.
I was actually trying to find my thermometer. I don't have one. I should get one of those eventually, but
Yeah,
I was like going to my house. I was like, I don't have it anymore. That's weird.
Like as a man, I was like, I don't need that. I'll never need that. And then she's like, oh, I'll buy us one. I'm like, all right, you do you.
I mean, it's not bad to have. I mean, like I can see why you would need it. Every once in a while, it's just good to check. But yeah, if you feel your forehead and it's hot, yeah. See, what happened to me was similar to you. I had a sore throat. What was happening, and I think it kind of ties into words of wisdom a little bit of, sometimes you can have too much of a good thing. And I was taking vitamin C because that helps your immune system. I realized I had taken too much vitamin C, and when you take the when you overdose basically on vitamin C, it can cause dizziness, which is what I had, and I was nauseous, and I could not eat as much as I would like to eat. So I had to like detox from like vitamin C for like a good couple days. Now
What
like
is
back to
vitamin
normal.
C for, anyways? Because I know people take
it's-
vitamin D supplements, especially in the winter.
Vitamin C is also good. Because you can't get that naturally. Your body doesn't make it naturally. So it's not hard to get vitamin C. It's in a lot of fruits, a lot of fruits, but it's in a lot of grains too. It just helps make red blood cells, helps make white blood cells. It's overall good for your body. It's good to have it, but I was taking too much. So too much of a good thing. It happened to me, and it felt weird because like I'm not used to being dizzy, but like I would get up and I almost have to sit back down. That's how bad it got at a point, and it was bothering me because I was like, everything else was fine. Like my voice came back. I didn't have a runny nose. I wasn't sneezing, but I was still dizzy as fuck. I was like, what the hell's going on? And then my mom was like, how much vitamin C are you taking? It's like, well, the box said 4. She's like, 4? It's like, you used to be taking 2. And as soon as I stopped taking it, and I like reduced it to like 1 a day, no problem.
Are you telling me you're taking 4 a day?
4, I was taking 2,000 milligrams in total, which is that's what it says for an adult on the box. It says you were taking 4, but I don't think I was counting correctly because I was popping it like fucking pills. So I think I was like around like 3,000.
You were like an addict. You just didn't know.
Because I wanted to get better because I had so many gigs lined up. So I was like, I want to be ready for the gigs. So I was just popping it whenever I had an opportunity to do so. And I think I wasn't counting how many I was taking per month, like per day. Sorry. So that really fucked with my body.
I'm just
But
imagining you cracking open a bottle like every few hours. I need my fix.
I need my vitamin C. I need my fucking.
I know
chewable.
you do drugs. What drugs? Ew! These are vitamin C tablets. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. God, I'm over here fucking scratching my arm off and shit. But I wanted to know if you were feeling better because I don't have a bone to pick with you, but I do have an argument to pick with you.
Oh, I love arguing. What you got? What you got for me?
So, your boy Trump, he's pissing me off. I gotta say, these last couple of days, he's really been pissing me off, and for that reason, I want to talk about him for like a good 20 minutes, like
Before
a
we
good
get
like
into
solid
this,
20.
I just want to get something straight with you.
Yes,
He is not my boy. He's my
Okay.
daddy. So
he's my daddy. Does not make things any better for you.
I haven't really been following for the last week or so. What's going on?
So, basically, what's been going on as of late is, now, do you know how tariffs work?
Vaguely.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you a very, we're gonna use Minecraft, a very easy term for this to work. So let's just say we go back to 2000, like fucking 17, back to when we were playing PS3 Minecraft, and we had like a whole Monopoly system, right?
No, Jamal, we're so old. You're off by about 3 or 4 years.
Am I really?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's crazy.
The,
Anyway,
the peak of the Minecraft server, I think, was 2013, 2014.
wow, yeah, that's true. Cause Skype, we were still using Skype back then. You're right. So for people, this is good for everyone too. Like I'm not just saying this, but to make it easy, when I had the wood monopoly, right? You would give me, let's just say, 20 nuggets for a stack of wood, right? Implementing a tariff onto that, what that would mean is that, let's just say I was getting wood from David, for example.
Oh, David gives everyone wood. Oof.
So David used to charge me, for, let's just say he was charging me 10 nuggets for a stack. So I'm charging you 20, so I can make a profit, right? So my business keeps running. David's business keeps running because I'm giving him money. David, I now want to tell David, in order for you to give me wood, you're gonna have to, it's gonna charge you 30 nuggets instead of the 10, right? So that's 30 nuggets for me to get the wood. Now, if I'm charging you 20, I'm not making any money. So now I'm charging you 40, so I can still make my $10, and David gets his money. That's what a tariff is in the simplest of terms. So basically, Canada gives United States a lot of stuff: oil, wood, aluminum,
Hydro.
are like 3 hydro, electricity, right? 4 really big sources. What Trump wants to do is he wants to impose a 20% tariff. So that means if the wood going into the United States would only cost us $100, now it's going to cost us $120. The
Alright,
problem.
So Jamal, real quick.
Yeah.
There's no argument.
Okay.
Because I agree with
What?
you. Because
Okay.
obviously it's bad for Canadians. My whole point of being pro-Trump and all that was for the American people. I was embodying the American spirit in my support of him. Like for Americans, he's great. For the world, I think he'll be like establish peace and all that. But as far as like business goes, he's gonna do what's best for the U.S. And if that involves screwing over Canada or any other country in any fashion, I understand that, and
So
I'm not for it, but I'm not against it because it's his job, right?
This is where I'm going to argue with you some more, because here's the problem. He's imposing those tariffs, right? So that means, let's just say, we'll go with Lowe's, because that's a popular American company, now has to increase their prices. Who do you think is going to be paying for that? The extra money? The American people. So now, wood that used to cost $20 is now going to cost the average consumer $40. So he isn't helping the American people. He's fucking them over, if anything. Look at Mexico. Let's go to the other side of the border. Mexico gives America 72% of produce, fruits, and vegetables. He wants to impose the same 20% tariff that he's imposed on Canada on Mexico. So that means avocados that would cost, I don't know, $5 are now going to cost $10. The people who are buying it, the companies that are buying the avocados, are not going to go, oh, okay, 20% increase, we're going to keep our prices here, we're just going to lose $1 million. No, they're going to raise their prices. So the American people are getting fucked harder because he wants to impose tariffs on stuff coming into America, because he wants to force America to make their own shit. Tell me, how much do you think America makes, like their own stuff? Like,
well, I think that's the point. And
the
that's
goal.
The problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think
so that means
this is one of those things where it's growing pains essentially.
For 10 years. For 10 years, they're gonna be growing pains. For 10 years.
It could be 50 years, honestly. Because the
is
point is it good? The outcome is good. Getting there
at the
is
very
hard.
end of the day. Yeah. So getting there.
Yeah.
Right now, the American people need help. Right? They're struggling under the Biden administration. I will admit that they're not doing very good with the Biden administration because they're still struggling. Inflation's at all-time high. This is going to make it higher. And I don't think the American people understand it. Do you understand that when Trump did this, there was Google searches increased by 250% on how to take your vote back. Trump supporters were trying to find a way to take their vote back from Trump.
That's retarded.
Which, first of all, you can't do.
No, just the idea of Googling that at all is just like, what?
So, and then the second most Google term search was tariffs, because people don't know how it works.
Well, that makes sense. That's
So,
but,
for me, what I'm saying is, America's they've practically fucked themselves for the next 10 years. That they're going to be paying higher for practically everything, because that's just Canada and Mexico at 20%. You know that China's going to be 100% tariffs?
Mhm.
So that means it's double.
Yeah.
Everything is made in China. So it's double.
Yeah, but that's the problem.
No, but do you understand, Patrick, for the next 10 years,
Yeah.
all American people who are struggling, the middle class and the lower class, who are barely getting by, are going to be fucked. And they voted for him.
Yeah.
And they're not going to get fucked by him. No lube.
No, I absolutely understand what you mean, but it's...
So then why vote for him?
Okay, the way I'm thinking about this is the grand scheme of things.
Okay, go ahead. Please tell me the grand scheme of things.
It's for a brighter future, Jamal.
And, okay, but they're not going to be there to see it.
And
Because they're fucking broke.
that is what do you call that?
Collateral damage?
No, short-term results viewing, right? It's the idea of taking $100 tomorrow or $1 million in a year, right?
Okay, but
you get the
people
payoff
want
immediately,
to live.
or after a while, and you get a bigger
But
payoff.
people want to live, right? You want to be able to afford goods and also have a roof over your head. This is going to put people in the streets because they're not going to be able to afford basic goods. So what I'm trying to figure out here is how in the fuck did they vote for this guy knowing that he wasn't going to do this, and then when he won, they're like, oh wait, hold on. So what I want to know is, do you think that was this tariff coming in, do you think that the American people made a mistake? Or do you still firmly believe that was the best choice?
I think it's the best choice, but
Please tell me why.
Only time will tell based on what how this is gonna play out, right? Because
Okay, so you're hoping it's the best choice.
Not necessarily. I do have faith, which does imply hope, right?
Okay, so you have faith that the American people, I'm not talking about the billionaires.
I'll put it this way. I have
Go ahead.
zero doubt it would have been 10 times worse if they had gone with Kamala. Easily.
You think it would have been worse?
It would have been absolutely worse.
Please explain to me how it would have been worse in terms of tariffs, because she had none, by the way.
Specifically in tariffs? Well, that's what I mean, because things like that, they had such vague plans for the economy, it just didn't add up. Anytime anyone questioned her or her cabinet about it, it would just be deflecting, don't answer the question, we don't actually have anything, at least that's what it seemed like.
Okay.
And what they would keep doing is handouts to other countries and like, oh, where'd this money go? It just doesn't matter, just don't pay attention to that. And then your taxes go up and you pay more. The idea with the tariffs, from what I understand, and like you said, hope for,
yeah.
like you yourself said it would bring more business to America, it would encourage more people to start their own businesses.
Yes.
Which is ideal, because if you're relying on other countries to give you stuff, they can easily manipulate it at any time. You're not for us in this way. Like, let's say example, you said Mexico was a big in produce for the U.S., right?
Yes.
Let's just say one day Mexico is like, oh, we want to take over a part of the southern U.S. And the U.S. is like, well, no, you can't do that. Well, how about we cut off all your produce, and now half your country's gonna starve. They can easily be manipulated into anything via those means.
Do you think that they can make avocados all over America?
Avocados are for vegans, and I hate vegans, so I don't give a fuck.
Okay, but what I'm saying is that
no, I do understand like things like cocoa beans and stuff have to be grown in certain places.
Like in climate, exactly. Yeah. So what I'm saying is
but
that...
you do acknowledge a lot of the things, like even in Canada, we don't make that much stuff. You look at the underneath anything, it's all made in China, and that's not good for our economy.
100%, but here's the thing: is that we cannot make it. It's impossible to make it in Canada. We have no choice,
Yeah.
right? We have to have that imported. What I'm saying is that America is in a very similar situation. Yeah, okay, fine. I think it's for certain companies, for them to come over here and build factories. Yes. Here's the problem with that though, is that they're in these other countries that don't have the same worker union laws as they have here in America.
Yeah.
Therefore, they don't have to pay their workers as much. If they're going to build a factory here, they're going to have to pay the workers the right price.
This is why, when I was a young lad, I had this idea that a country as great as the U.S. was in its heyday could not
Yes.
exist without slavery, essentially.
For
Because
sure.
that's what
Yeah.
Chinese workers are, essentially. They're basically
100%.
slaves.
Yeah, no.
They are
you're not
paid,
wrong.
but in doll hairs compared
Yeah.
to what like people in the U.S. would make, right?
1,000% agree with you, and that's why. And was that me with me agreeing with you? That's what I'm trying to show you is that me personally, again, I don't know what Kamala's plan would have been for the economy. I
I don't
admit
think
to
she
that.
had one. It didn't seem like she did.
She didn't. If she did have one, we didn't really know about it. Fine.
All
That
she's
is-
doing, remember, like her big thing was like, "Oh, I'll give you a stimulus check if you try to start a company." It's like, what?
Yeah.
Do you know, like most companies take 5 years before they start making a profit? So you're
Yeah,
just gonna give
so-
handouts to like a billion companies spouting out of nowhere that'll probably go under anyways. You're just throwing away taxpayer dollars again.
For that part, I understand. However, what I'm saying is that, one, do they have the room? America isn't a big country when it comes to
It's
land.
massive. It's actually
It-
massive country.
It is big. Canada's
Yeah.
bigger. So what I'm saying is that, do they have, like, okay, yeah, they have a lot of land, like a lot of rural areas. Can they build factories over there? Yeah,
Yes.
for sure. Are they gonna get people to get over there?
Yes.
That one,
Yes.
but, okay, we don't know. We do
Yes.
not know.
No,
How do
Jamal,
you know?
Yes. Jamal, yes.
Okay, but you're just saying. You're
people
saying yes.
go where prosperity is. Like, think of all the people who immigrated from Europe to the U.S. in
Mhm.
like the 1600s, 1800s.
Mhm.
They go there for opportunity. So when you say, "Oh, we're building these factories, these towns out here," people are gonna be like, "Oh, really? I always wanted a new start, a fresh start, to start living out there." That's how people
Man,
work.
I hope you're fucking right, because if you're not, they've really fucked themselves. They fucked themselves because the problem is that these factories have to come here and now work under the union of American workers. So they have to pay them more money to do the exact same work. Because here's the thing. The companies that are outside the America right now, who are going to be hit with these tariffs, look at it and go, that's okay. Because it's only going into America. It's not going into it's not going to affect China. It's the same analogy that I'm telling you when it comes with David and the whole wood thing. It doesn't affect David. David's still making his money. And a company that's going to be resorting to China is going to be making their money. The problem is really is it's the consumer. Is the consumer coming to buy those products that are going to be seeing this hit the most?
Yeah, well,
Because
that's the
factories
thing,
are not
though.
gonna be
'Cause-
interested.
no, but Jamal, the thing is that what got them to this point in the first place was outsourcing to other countries.
Mhm.
And so, wouldn't the obvious solution be to bring it back home?
If they want to, because
That's
they've been
that's
looking
what
at.
his plan is, though.
So, but what I'm saying is that the companies have already established, they've already built their factories there, everything is there, the workers are there, they're getting paid dollars, they're making amazing profit right now. And with that tariff, all they're gonna do is, they're gonna go, oh, okay, it's gonna cost us 120 instead of 100, no problem, here you go. And then the company, because they offer a service, let's just say we're saying Nike shoes, right? Now, if America wants to buy those Nike shoes from China, it's now going to cost them $120 more. But the guy who made the shoes, it still only cost him 60 cents to make.
Yeah.
So,
But can we
They're
just admit
going-
something real quick before we continue?
yes,
If you buy Nikes, you're retarded.
yeah, yeah, no, just don't buy Nikes.
I
period.
bought a pair of shoes last month, $30.
Yeah,
You know what they do? They
They-
cover
they-
my
they-
feet when I walk,
yeah.
just like
No, Nikes are
Nikes.
nervous. Yeah, no, and people who are, what do they call them, sneakerheads?
Blows my
I
mind.
can't.
Blows my mind.
I can't. I'm like, bro, are you serious right now? Like, they're gonna go on your feet, they're gonna get dirty. Like, who fucking cares? No, I want to keep them in the house. People who do that, actually frustrate me. I'm like, so you're gonna buy shoes and not wear them? That's like buying a car and not driving it. Like, I don't get it.
It's like a.
I don't understand that.
They use the defense like, oh, it's a collector's item. It's like you're collecting shoes.
Footwear? Yeah, I don't.
It's kind of gay, bro.
We're gonna see when he comes into office how this is all gonna plan out.
Yeah, because
But
I think
we'll
it's
talk about it more.
like when you get this information, this sort of negative.
What do you mean negative?
It feels like a negative bias. Where do you get your news
I'm-
sources from?
I'm listening to him. I'm looking at his tweets, his truth media tweets. This is from the
Is he
man
tweeting again? I
himself.
haven't even.
Yeah. Well, no, not on Twitter. It's a new thing called Truth Social. Truth Social. I can't say that word.
What is that?
Truth. It's where he posts. If you go on Truth Social, that's where he posts stuff. I'm reading it from the man himself, Donald J. Trump himself. He is saying, I want to put this tariff 20% Canada, Mexico. I'm not getting it for anywhere
No,
else.
I understand that. I understand him
Yeah.
saying he wants to do the tariffs, but where are you getting the information that's saying, oh, this is going to be horrible for the American public, and people are Googling this now?
I've been watching a ton of videos from different news sources. I've been reading. This is the most research I've done in a while. I looked up how do tariffs work. Just like a general like published article on how tariffs work.
Okay.
So I understand how they work.
Okay.
And it's not and like I said, people are afraid. They're scared because they're realizing that this is really gonna hurt them a lot more. They're thinking, yeah, fuck China and fuck Canada. We're gonna make them pay if they want to. But then they're going, hold on. This would be different if America was a bigger exporter like China. Then it'd be different. If China were to impose tariffs, that would be a problem for all of us, because now what happens is that now everything that comes from China was going to cost a lot more. Now we're all fucked. But America isn't a very big export. They're a very big importer, not a very big exporter. Yeah. So that's where the people are realizing. I didn't think I got confused with how the words were, and they're realizing that stuff coming into America now is going to cost a lot more for the average American citizen than for us. A lot of people are going. A lot of people. Everyone's like, "Oh my god!" Why everyone's panicking is because they don't want to hurt America. They don't want to. Nobody does. They want to keep America wealthy because America is a superpower. They want to keep them as a superpower. So that's why Trudeau is trying to see him and go, listen, can we not put this tariff on? Because it's still gonna hurt Canadian companies for sure, because now they have to work harder for the same amount of money, 20% harder technically, for the same amount of money. But it's a lose-lose. Nobody wins here. Nobody wins. The only people who win are the billionaires. That's the only fucking people who win in this scenario, because American people are going to pay more, Canadian people are going to pay more because they got to make up the difference. So it hurts everyone. The whole America first, this isn't America first. Not here.
I want you to understand like where I'm coming from, because I'm trying to be optimistic, and what I've noticed a lot, especially like recently, or I guess I'm sure it's been a problem since the dawn of man. Everyone is concerned about the now, and they never think about the future. Oh, I need pleasure now. I need to see the results now. Otherwise, does it really matter? And it's a very selfish way of thinking, and I think that's ultimately a negative on humanity. So when you say like, oh, doing all these things, like, doesn't matter if it's okay in 50 years, I'll be dead. It's like, what about your kids? You don't think they'll be grateful or anything?
I understand what you're saying.
As an American, Canadians might be fucked, but
yeah, I understand what you're saying, and that's fine. If this makes America more independent in the future, so be it. What I'm saying is that right now is not the time, because American people need help. The middle class and the lower class that are struggling day to day need help. And the new president coming in should be that lifeline to help them. And in fact, what he's doing is the opposite. That's what bothers me about the whole situation. I don't mind in 10 to 12 years, it just makes America more of an independent country and they're able to grow their own produce. They don't rely on Canada and America as much. That's fine. But what I'm saying is that it is going to hurt the people now. And yeah, okay, fine. If I'm in the now, so be it. But now, the people here, right now, that make America run, need to be able to stay alive for America to run in the future. You just want 10,000 people to be homeless and in the street, so then their kids who are going to be homeless in the street in 10 years from now, it doesn't do anything.
Mhm.
And not only that, but I'm going, America and every other country in the world, like Canada needs to fucking get their shit together when it comes to the whole military spending. I agree. We cannot rely on America to be Big Brother and defend us from everything. I agree with that. But every country has a responsibility to work with one another. It's a world economy for a reason. You know, we're all supposed to help each other.
Planet's in debt, though. The bill's gonna be due soon.
Huh?
So the planet's in debt. The bill's gonna be due soon.
Yeah, but it's like,
Yeah. I see what you mean. If anything, what he should have
Yeah.
done, it should have been like a mix of the two. So like he implements his tariffs, but maybe not 10-20%. You can do like between 3 and 5, and make it a
And
gradual
that's
thing.
fine.
Because
And
what
that's fine.
happened?
Yes.
What happened? I think it was probably the 80s. I think it started, where companies started outsourcing to places like China and Korea and whatnot, and building factories elsewhere, and to save them some money and therefore increase their profits.
Yeah.
And that happened over time. So if he were to do that gradually, like obviously, because the problem is, I think a big problem is that a president's term is only 4 years, and he can't implement a grand plan like that. He can't just say, "Oh, during my 4 years, tariffs will rise by 5%, right?" And then hopefully the next president after that will increase it a little bit more and a little bit more, therefore continuously encouraging it throughout the next 100 years, we'll say.
He can't do it for the next 4 years because he has Senate and House, so I think everything that he says will go.
No, but that's what I'm saying, though. I think he's doing it so abruptly because as a 4-year term, like that's all you get, and you don't know what the next guy is gonna do.
Well, to be honest, it looks like he wants to get rid of that 4-year term. That's a topic for another day.
It's strange though, because at one point I was on the side of like, oh, you should just stay in office as long as you keep getting the votes. But then you look at Trudeau and you're like, maybe no.
Yeah, no,
maybe
no.
no.
I like how America does it when it comes to that. Real quick before we move on to other stuff, Joe Biden pardoning Hunter Biden, which is hilarious.
I could not. I was like, I guess it makes sense.
Yeah.
I was like, I guess it's fine. And then you see all the people like. All the quotes of Biden, like, I will not pardon him. No one is above the law. And then
It's like,
just say him pardon him.
Oh no.
It's like it's one thing. I understand him doing it, his reasoning. It's a son and all that. But the fact that you said that you wouldn't, and then you did, that's what really irks me.
Yeah, no, I don't like the fact that he said he wouldn't, and then like this go maybe. Just like give yourself a bit of like leeway to do it if you wanted to. I think he was gonna do it regardless. I think Hunter was like, listen, like I'm gonna go to jail if you don't do this. I'm okay with it because I know Trump's gonna do it. I think as president,
he's gonna do what?
Yeah, he's gonna pardon himself.
Okay.
So if Trump can do it, I don't see why he's getting so much shit just because he said he wasn't gonna do it. I'm okay with it. I don't really mind if he does it, to be honest. It's like I think Trump did it, you do it. Who fucking cares? Like we know he's fucking guilty. He's gonna get away with it. So do a lot of people get away with shit. I feel like they're making a big deal out of it for fucking nothing. I don't know. In my personal opinion.
Based on what I've seen of most, obviously it's very. I want to do a deep dive on the what do you call that? The allegations against Trump, because remember he had like 80 or something cases put against him while he was running, which really does seem like they were just trying to get him arrested, which is fucked up, using the justice system that way. And then apparently he was found guilty of a few, so like you're saying he's gonna pardon himself.
He was found guilty of all of them.
But
all 82.
But I'm wondering though, like, were any of them actually legitimate? Because I heard at least a majority of them were bullshit, like made up, like, oh, you owe taxes to yourself. Like, what?
No,
Huh?
there are some that are legitimate. Which ones they are, it's beyond me. I have to do a deep dive myself to really see. But what I will say is that I think they tried. Yeah, I think it was definitely an abuse of power for sure to try and get him arrested for him not to run. But at the same time, the guy has done some fuck. There's some shit that he's done where I'm like, no, you're guilty of this.
Like
For
what
him not
though?
to, the documents, I know for a fact were at his house. There's pictures of the classified documents at his house. You can't do that. You can't take it out of the White House.
Yeah.
The other
So,
stuff I
so
don't know.
yeah,
I
I
couldn't
remember
tell you.
hearing about like, oh, the documents. Like, so you just how many documents are you talking about? Like a briefcase? They're talking about like a couple boxes. And
I have no clue.
exactly, but then you hear about Hillary's like thousands of emails, and no one gives a
Yeah.
fuck, and you're like, what?
Well, I guess because I don't know. I get the American politics are fucking complex, but I do know that some of the stuff he is guilty for. All 82, I think some of that stuff is probably people jump on the bandwagon. Oh no, he touched me too. You know how it is, but
No one touches
yeah.
you, Becky. Don't lie.
No one wants to touch you, Becky. But yeah. So
But no, Hunter should go to prison though.
no, I think
The fact that you
I
just
think
go to the White House with coke and then it's fine, like what?
yeah, I think it's fucked up to use your dad for that matter, but at the same time, I mean, we don't know. We don't know about Trump's kids, but so far they seem to be pretty clean, so I guess they're okay. But yeah. Anyways, we'll get back into American politics. I think that we did covered a good 30 minutes of that. I have a lot of stuff to talk about. I've been writing stuff down for like the last 2 weeks collectively. I'm not sure if you've been doing that too. I assume you have.
Of course, yeah.
So let's get into other politics from around the world. South Korea, for example, martial law declared last night, and then this morning gone, which is hilarious.
For what?
So, first of all, do you know what martial law is?
It's where the military goes around
Yeah, you're
implementing the
close.
law. It's so weird
Yeah.
because like, when you said martial law, I'm like, I know what that is, and you asked me to just describe it. I'm like,
I was like,
I'm not sure.
martial law. You're very close. It's basically where a lot of civil rights are thrown out the window to establish peace or in a state of emergency. Basically, is when the military rolls in. It's been used multiple times throughout history. It was done last night in South Korea because the president, who, by the way, I did not know about this, has the lowest approval rating of any South Korean president, first of all. Second of all, won by the slimmest margin, 51% for presidency over the opposing party, and doesn't have the House. So it's like what's going on right now with Biden with the Republicans having the Senate. And he declared martial law because he felt, keyword is felt, that the opposing party, was trying to impose North Korean ideals, like ideas, and I guess you could say like.
What's the problem, guys? I just want to implement a slave camp. I mean,
This is basically North Korean ideologies into South Korea, and how they're poisoning the streets with drugs, and he wanted to impose martial law to get them out, basically.
wait, to get out drugs?
To get the drugs out and to basically kill the opposing. He wanted to murder them.
Murder who?
Basically,
Who's
the opposing
them?
party. The opposing party.
What?
Yeah, he just wanted to kill them, and he tried because there was an assassination attempt on the opposing party's leader's life. He got stabbed in the neck. He survived. I'm positive that was someone paid by the president's side, because he was offering for his autograph, and when he went for it, he lunged at him, stabbed him in the neck. He survived, and basically both parties are pointing fingers at each other, saying pretty bad stuff. Like the president was saying that this party is a fascist, radical party that believes in North Korean ideologies and wants to infect South Korea, while the opposing party was saying that the president is an incompetent and money hungry and like just a complete dick, basically, is what he was trying to say. Now the president has fucked up twice already. He fucked up once, which is the weirdest fuck up of all time. But he went to a store, a market, and saw that the green onions were at a reasonable price. He was wrong. It was actually very high for the price. And people started bringing green onions that opposed them to his rallies, just to fucking taunt him. And then his wife received a gift of a Dior handbag that cost over $1,000, which apparently is against the law. You can only receive a gift under $750, so you have to apologize for that. She kept the purse.
Yeah, there shouldn't be any gifts.
Yeah, but she kept the purse, which is also very fucked up. So basically, right now, South Korea opposed martial law, then the whole party, 153-0, turned it back off. It went against the president, basically, and said no. So there was martial law for about 8 hours, max. But South Korea was in complete riot in the streets. And there's been multiple talks about him stepping down, and he refuses to do so. So we will see in the next couple of days if he does finally decide to step down or not. But that's what's been going on in South Korea, guys. So yeah.
Wow.
And lastly, going back closer to home, today Trudeau went to meet Trump and talk about the tariffs, and Trump jokingly, I put those in quotations, jokingly said, well, if Canada can't handle the tariffs, then they should just become the 51st state of America. That sent Canada into a fucking panic. Because he then posted a photo on Truth Social of him with the Canadian flag wrapped around his arms. Everyone is basically freaking out, saying that Trump is now going to invade Canada and turn it into the 51st state.
People are retarded.
I don't think he's ever going to do that.
He's literally trolling and taunting, like, "Oh, you're gonna invade?" I was like, "No."
No, I think it's honestly, I think he was just joking, but everyone's taking it super serious. Yeah. So yeah, but I'm gonna let you talk now. I feel like I've talked a lot. So
well, even on that, because I had to get my winter tires put on today. Good timing, because it's supposed to snow like 10 centimeters overnight. Yeah. And I had to use my dad's car to get to work and all that, and he doesn't have Bluetooth or anything, so I had to listen to the fucking radio, and listening to these morons talk about politics.
Yeah, no,
I swear, every 2 seconds it's like, the fucking world's ending. Did you hear what he said? Can you believe he said that? Oh my god!
No, they go over the top. I don't listen to the radio.
I swear that it's like
fear.
It's fear. It's fear, but at the same, because you know, like a host has like a interviewee, right? Like the person's supposed to know shit.
Yeah.
You can just tell, like, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
No, it's all scare-tastic.
And they make these quips and jokes like randomly out of nowhere, and they sound very unprofessional. And then they just turn around and say, "Oh, it's the end of the world," or "This is terrible for you." And I'm just sitting there driving like, what the fuck is any of this crap? No wonder my dad is like living in fear and hate watching a ton of shit on YouTube. Yeah,
no, you really have to be careful with how much media you digest on a daily. Yeah. That's why a lot of old people are like that, right? Because all they do is watch TV all day. Yeah. My grandmother, my great-grandmother, God rest her soul, but she was like that. This was before Trump, it was like during like Obama, but like she would be worried for like other stuff. Like one time, it was raining for like 3 days, and she called me in a panic. She was going, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "Well, it's been raining for 3 days, and they said that it's gonna rain like 10 meters. I said, "Granny," I said, "If it rains 10 meters, I'll be dead. I'll be dead. I'll be gone." Like, I'm going, that's a fucking flood, you know? But it's like the fact that she was that afraid of that because she was listening to the news talk about rain for the last 3 days shows that when you digest too much of this, of this crap, I'm sorry, it's fucking crap. It's a fucking problem. Like I said, I don't really like to listen to the news or watch the news. I try to watch it. I try to filter out the best that I can, and little local stories, I'll throw in there, like, you know, about the whole like needle, when the guy had the needle in his arm. Like, that's a local story. That seems pretty believable. There's photo evidence.
Mhm.
But there's some stuff that they say where they're like, I'm like, okay, guys, like, listen, like, I think you're blowing this out of fucking proportion. The guy was fucking making a joke. He's still human at
Yeah.
the end of the day. I think he was legit making a joke about it. I'm almost positive. Because he's a, yeah, okay, he's a little unhinged, but he's not a fucking idiot. Like, I don't think he would do that, personally, you know? So, anyways.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But
so,
the thing is, like, especially with these types of media, they blow things out of proportion and they end up
Mhm.
getting things wrong. And then when they get corrected, they don't
You're like,
tell
haha.
the listeners or the viewers.
Yeah, they're like, teehee. Oh no, we got it wrong, teehee.
Not even. They just
Yeah.
stop talking about it and they continue. And it's like, so
Yeah.
you just lied to everyone
Yeah.
and then didn't recount or retract or anything. You just kept going. Like, okay.
Yeah. So let's move away. Do you have anything else for politics?
That's enough politics. We've done way
Okay.
too much.
So let's move on to some good news. Australia
Australia.
is doing a nation ban for no social media under the age of 16. So TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, all that stuff is going to be banned under the age of 16. They're giving the companies up until 2025, so a year, to find a way to make this work. If they don't, they're fined every day,
Oh, yeah.
not month, not week, $2 million every day
Yeah.
that they don't find a solution for their app to find a way to deal with this. I think this is great. This is fantastic. I think everyone should be watching Australia very carefully over this next year to see how the companies react to this.
Yeah, I see.
Um,
I thought the same thing, but I was listening to another podcast, and
Mhm.
someone who lives in Australia, him and many others who live there believe that it's being used as a scapegoat essentially, because by having this age restriction, you have to register, right? And so it's essentially an invasion of your privacy because, you know, as a man, we have needs. But now you have to register to
Well,
use those kinds of things.
Pornhub would not count though. That's not a social media platform.
Well, I think there were certain things where it would require you to use like your real legal name and all that, and it would essentially just devolve into what happened in the. Remember that South Park episode?
Yeah, the horse. How to tame a horse in Minecraft.
I think it was something like that. But yeah, you had to
Yeah.
register and you give up all your private information, and now everything you do online is tied to you. No
I
matter
mean,
what.
for me, it's already there. I think they already have my shit if they wanted it. Like, I'm sorry, your stuff, you are just a number. Like,
Yeah. Well,
I've
no, 'cause
heard about it.
It's what they were getting into was that essentially it's going to become not immediately, but it could potentially become like 1984, Big Brother always watching you, because anything you do, any site you visit, someone knows what you're doing and how you're doing it.
Yeah, but don't you already feel that like we're already there? I mean, for fuck's sake, I talk about a computer case, and all I get are ads for computer cases. Like, they already know what the fuck I'm doing. It's just now, for me, why I think this is such a good move on Australia's part, I think a lot of countries should be looking at this, is that social media, as of right now, is a fucking problem. It's a fucking problem, and what's happening is that I will admit that it is being used as a scapegoat for me. I'm a very big advocate for education. And I believe that the educational system has to evolve, and it's not. And we're getting there. Smart boards, and they're being more interactive with using websites to take tests instead of regular pen and paper. The problem with that, though, is that I really feel like we are losing our touch with humanity. I feel like people do no longer know how to communicate with one another because of social media.
Yeah.
And I think this ban is going to force people back outside. Because, you know, they were interviewing people in Australia, and there was one girl who was definitely against it, going, well, you know, like, it just kind of sucks because this is where I talk with my friends. And I was like, first of all, they're not banning text messages. You can still text. at any age, right? But at the same time, go outside for fuck's sake, you
Yeah.
fat fuck.
Like even
Like,
when we were younger, like if we hop on video games or something like that,
yeah,
otherwise we wouldn't really talk unless we would just message each other, "Hey, you want to hop on?
yeah,
You
it's
want to
like
play?"
already
Like
at
that's
our
all we would
generation,
say.
we're,
Otherwise, we
we're
would.
already there. How many times? I mean, every once in a while, I think in the summertime we did hang out like in person, but that would last for like what, 1 to 2 hours, and then we go right back inside and be playing video games. But I
Well,
leave,
that
but
was
something
you.
is,
That was you. There was like, do you remember the ongoing joke we had as a group? Oh well,
yeah.
Jamal's getting bored. Jamal's gonna leave.
But at the same time, we did play a couple of times like PlayStation All Stars. We're all like in the same house,
Good
like
times.
we would
Good
all like.
times.
But yeah, great times. But it's one of those things where I really feel like what I was saying is it's also for like just confrontation and how we handle confrontation in our daily lives. Back in the day, we would talk about it, right? Now it's like, oh, I don't like that person, block them, report them. It's
Yeah.
like we don't need to be cautious of our actions anymore because we can block them. And then when we see them at school, we just ignore them. It's just I really feel like there's a lot more good to this than there is bad. Fine, okay, yeah. Maybe our information is going to be a bit more out there.
Yeah.
Fine. And
Well,
maybe
that's what I was
your
saying
your
though,
digital
because
footprint. But at the same time, I think it's good to be held accountable for that type of shit. I think it's like I think
yeah,
if
but okay, yeah, but Jamal, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's like on the surface, in concept, it's a good
Mhm.
thing, but it could potentially be used against you.
I mean, if you listen, if you're 16 and you're on
No,
Pornhub
no,
and
no,
they
no, no,
fuck
no,
you,
no, Jamal. You had a great example yourself.
okay.
South Korea. What if that dude,
Mhm.
just based on everyone's media history online, right, was like, oh, round all these people up because they're against me, and I have proof because their online searches and whatnot and their posts.
Mm.
Round them up,
But
have them executed or put into slavery. Done.
I don't think it's good. But I think it really is just for social. They just want identification. They just want to know
That's how it starts.
because I'll give you a very obscure example, but it's because I watched the Pornhub documentary about when they had that whole God, it was when they had that whole ban where they had to like delete, like they had to purge like 90% of their videos because of
The age
underage
of
shit.
someone couldn't be
Yeah,
confirmed or
yeah,
was,
exactly.
yeah.
What they started doing was for people who wanted to make money off of Pornhub, you had to send a legal document of age of consent or of your age, driver's license, passport, something. I think I'm okay with that. If you were to make a TikTok account and they go, please send us a picture of your date of birth or give us something that proves that you're the age of 16, I'm fine with that. I really am fine with that because what happens is that only goes to that. Let's just say it's Meta for Facebook, for example. That's only going to go to Meta. It's not going to go to the fucking Australian government. There's got to be an agreement somewhere. Again, I don't know how it's going to work, but there's got to be an agreement somewhere where um, this information is only being used for verification purposes. It's kind of like, for example, okay, when you call a bank and you give him every fucking thing, you
Oh,
are
I
trusting
never
this.
do that shit over the phone. I always go in person,
Well, so,
specifically to avoid a possible
well, I guess
fraud
you
or some shit.
haven't been in that situation yet, but I've had to do it a couple of times for either A, my card being locked. You can't go in person to unlock your card,
What?
or for you can't. If your card gets locked, you have to call online. They have the tool. Patrick, I've tried,
What bank are
dude.
you with?
Scotia.
What? Me too.
Yeah.
What? I thought you could just.
No, if your card ever gets locked, God forbid that happens, 'cause it sucks. You're gonna have to call. You can't go. I, I have a Scotia credit line. I'll explain what that is in the future. I opted in for a premium that I thought was mandatory. Turns out it's optional. Of course, the guy's fucking slick. He didn't say that shit. So I wanted to get rid of the premium because I just don't need it. And when I went to go see him 2 weeks later for something not related to that, I asked him, I'd like to remove the premium. He goes, I can't do that for you. You have to call. He can't do it. I went to go see him. Like, he has my file. I can see it. He's like, I can't do it. You have to call. So what I'm saying, all in all, what I'm trying to say is that you are trusting them. There has to be a trust that when this ban comes into effect, that it's only being used for verification purposes, and that is it. It's not being used to track you. It's not being used to hold you accountable for anything that you do online. It is simply used for the social media apps only: Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, Facebook, uh, whatever the fuck, Be Real, I think is one of them. That's all that it's being used for. Just to make sure that you are of the age of consent, or the age needed to access this app. After that, it should be back to normal. You don't need to have anything. We don't need to track you, nothing like that. If that's not the case, then yeah, then we're gonna have to sit down and figure that out. But I think as of right now, it is a really good idea to have that to effect, because kids are being bullied, kids are committing suicide, kids are no longer feeling secluded in their own homes because of social media, and they're not studying. Their grades are dropping because they're doom scrolling on TikTok for hours and hours and hours, distracting themselves.
What is doom scrolling?
So I learned about this word last week. Basically what that is, it's when you have an assignment to be done and you're refusing to do it. It's procrastination, the new term, basically.
So instead of doing your work, you're just scrolling TikTok?
Scroll on TikTok, yeah, basically.
These kids today. Now I'll tell you, I had to drive past the school today. I was shocked to see children playing. It was weird.
But it's good. But see, that is what we should have.
No, that's what I know that too. But it's just in my mind, I was like, I don't think kids play anymore. And then I drive past the school, they're playing tag and shit, and I was like, good for them.
No, it's good. And like I said, but at the same time, I think it's also. See, we never have to grow up with that. At least I did have to grow up with it. I know
we caught we were just at the beginning, like when we were leaving, it just started.
Yeah, because I was I'd overheard some parents a couple days ago that they limit screen time. It's like 2 hours screen time, and after that, like, you're not allowed. And I was like, that's so crazy, because that never existed for me back then. But even when I had a computer, and I remember my parents had a very good rule, and I think that rule makes the most sense. If your grades are good, we don't have to say shit. That's like a very simple rule. If your grades are good, then you're free to do whatever you want, because your grades are good. Your grades fuck off, your grades are fucking slacking, then yeah, now we have to limit, your time, because you're not doing your work. That was always my rule when I was a kid. My mom and dad both agreed. Your grades are good, we ain't gonna say shit, you can do whatever you want. If your grades are ass, we're gonna restrict you. That was it. Plain and simple,
No,
so,
if I ever have a child or children, it'll be it really depends, because if, like, on a computer you can do almost anything, right? So I would put a limit to that, but as far as like TV or something like that, I'll be like, it's fine.
Yeah.
As long as the grades are up and you're not getting fat.
That's exactly what I'm going. Your grades are good and you're healthy.
Yeah.
I have no issue. I really could care less, So.
Because it really depends what you're looking at. Because, like you said, like, something like doom scrolling, you're literally watching trash.
Yeah,
That's
but
all
like
it
if you're like, for me, when I was younger, I used to make mixes on my computer. I would listen to music. I would be making videos, streaming, stuff like that. Like, I'm doing something, So.
Because it's easy to like consume. It's hard to make stuff.
100%.
So creativity should definitely be encouraged. Stop being consumed. Be a producer.
Yeah, I have a little part. I forgot to mention this. This is interesting. This is only happening in Quebec. I think it's gonna be good. We're gonna talk about it more another time when it comes into effect next week. I will probably dive deeper into it. But recently, they're going to be changing pharmaceuticals. Pharmacists, I guess you could say, how they work. Right now, I didn't know about this, but they work in the pharmacy for a couple of days, and they work in the hospital for a couple of days. Now what they're going to be doing is you have to pick one. You either work at the hospital, or you work at like a pharmacy building.
I don't like that. I actually think I prefer them doing a mix, because that way they're more hands-on in a hospital, and they might get more knowledge that way.
Yes, but also, for example, and this is where I disagree with you, is that what I'm saying is, if you go to that pharmacy on a Wednesday and you want medicine, he's not there. You're like, okay, but
Are you
where
telling
is
me
he
that
at
when
the-
they, because in my mind they would swap, right? Like,
No, there's just no one there.
okay, that's retarded.
There's just no one. You know, exactly. So then there
Just,
you go.
just
It-
double
yeah,
your
it-
staff. So like when
it-
we'll say 2.5 days. Well,
Yeah.
example, 2.5 days.
How
You're at
about
the
you talk
hospital.
to
2.5
Nicole
days.
about
You're
that?
in there, and then you switch.
How about you talk to fucking Nicole about that? Because that's our issue. Is that we don't have enough we don't have enough fucking medical, right? So what this
Things
is
like
gonna
that,
do at least.
especially like in sectors that are lacking in people
Mhm.
working, that are
Mhm.
essential, like teachers, like medical. Just
Yes.
bump the pay, and people
Yeah.
will come.
Yeah, no, I know. So it's like it's really dumb, but I do like the fact that they're gonna be making them stay in the place of work because
Nah.
people, especially like smaller towns, they rely on these little pharmacies, you know. And if the pharmacist is not there Wednesday and Thursday because he's working at the hospital in fucking Joliet, like
I
one of the
think
major towns,
They're creating
you're
new
fucked.
problems. I think that's what's gonna happen because they're gonna
You're-
be
it-
they're gonna be less savvy about certain things. They're gonna end up prescribing the wrong thing. It's
Well, it's not that, but what's gonna be happening? I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be more good than it is bad, though, because what's going to happen is that at least, because what would happen is that if they were at the pharmacy, then those people will go to the hospital to get the same drugs, right? Because their pharmacist is now at the hospital, so that means the hospital line's even longer. So at least with them being in the pharmacy, it's going to help. It's going to ease off a little bit on the emergency rooms in hospitals, at least a little bit. I will admit that what's going to hurt is that because the pharmacists are not going to be at the hospital, it's going to make the wait times of the hospital even longer because there's not as much staff, right? So good and bad. We'll see. We'll see how it works out in these next couple of weeks. If it gets better.
Jamal. I want to close
Yes.
off with a little story.
Okay, go ahead.
here.
Yes.
All right. So I want to get. All right. So you're born, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry to tell you, no penis. You're a girl. Okay.
Okay. Damn. Okay.
You are diagnosed with cancer
Wow.
at the age of 7.
Okay.
That sucks, right?
That really sucks a lot. Yeah.
So through all your struggles, your turmoil, the emotional roller coaster,
Mm-hmm.
that is your horrible life,
Mm-hmm.
you finally get over it.
Okay.
You beat cancer. You're a survivor.
Wow. Amazing. Thank you.
You're also a fan of the NFL.
Okay.
You go to a football game.
Okay.
You make a little sign that says, I'm 8 years old and I survived cancer.
Okay.
Your team is doing really good. You're very happy now.
Yeah.
You don't have cancer. Your favorite
Yeah.
football team's winning.
Yeah.
You know who's not happy?
Who?
The opposing team fan.
Okay.
You know what they do?
What?
They push you down the stands and you break your arm.
Stop it. Actually? Wow. That fan's a dick.
Yeah, the title read 8-year-old cancer survivors pushed down stands by rival fan at NFL game.
That's fucked up.
Moral of
That's
the
actually
story,
fucked
no
up.
one is protected. Everyone gets fucked.
I mean, this is football, and I know that like a lot of football stadiums, there's fans of both teams, you know, that go to every area. But Jesus Christ, like that's just. Was he drunk at least?
I hope so.
I hope so too, because that's just fucked up. I'm sorry. Like, I'll go to a hockey game. I've sat next to fans of the opposing team. We were laughing together. Like, we were at, like, honestly, I was like, because there was like a penalty or something. He was like, no, that's a penalty. I was like, see, he's like, no, I agree with you. That's a fucking call. You know, I was like, that's cool. Like, I don't mind if you're fans of the other team, but like, don't be a fucking dick about it. Like,
Yeah, it's crazy how how invested people get. You see all those like especially videos where people freak out over like a penalty or their team loses,
Yeah.
they break their TV or some shit.
yeah, no, like that's a bit much. Like,
like-
I'm sorry. I love my sports ball, but not to that degree. I'm not gonna be breaking shit.
Imagine getting invested in something productive, where you're actually doing something instead of just watching other people do stuff.
Well, no, I mean, like I said, I like to do it. It's enjoyable. I know you're not a fan of sports, so you'll never understand. But like, I'm never gonna get to that point where I'm like that upset.
I have
That's
gotten
like,
that feeling of like getting into a game. Like I
yeah,
remember
yeah,
one
like a
time
video game.
in high school, some teacher put on, I think it was the Olympics hockey or some shit, and Canada was
Okay.
playing. Oh,
Yeah.
dude, I got into that. Was cool.
Oh
I was
yeah.
and fucking won.
The
I was like,
Olympics are fun.
this is what it feels like.
Yeah.
And then I just never watched it again.
Well, if you want the oh, that's true. They released it today. They're gonna be doing something new um this year for hockey. It's called the Four Nations Cup, and it's gonna be Canada, America, Sweden, and Finland. And right now that I'm just looking real quick at the players that are being on each team. They actually like released them today. For Canada, it's a pretty good team. We actually have a lot of strong players, so I'm very excited to see how this turns out for the Four Nations. It's gonna be like a very small tournament, but it's gonna be very cool because it's the first of its kind, and and it's all NHL players, so it's really like the best of the best in every country. So it's gonna be really cool. I'm excited to see it in February. I'll let you know when that time comes. So
I would
anyway.
say I'm looking forward to it, but I'm gonna forget, and I don't care.
It's very similar to it's very similar to the Olympics. That's why I'm saying that.
Oh, okay.
So hopefully you get a chance to sit down with it. But yeah, so anyways, I'm Jamal,
I'm Patrick.
and we'll see you guys next time.
The decision rests with you. Rests with you.